I hate the part where he almost killed Batman.
I hate the part where we almost killed Batman. Oh, Harvey Dent. Harvey, Harvey,
Harvey did.
Harvey. Well, I can jump in. Harvey Fox is one of my favorite bands, and I don't know if that's because I know them personally or if I really like the music. But I also happened to go to high school with all of them. So their first band, which went by the name of Arco Bandera, they were a nine-piece, and they like put out an album called Raincoats before disbanding at graduation. And then a few years later, Colin sent me some tracks under a new project called Ghosto Farco, and I
Oh
never
yeah,
put that
Ghost of
together
Farco.
until later, which is just Ghost of Arco. And those two tracks were Mammoth and Dance Like Everybody's Watching. And so that really was the origin of Harvey Fox from my outsider's perspective. A year later, they played their first show, which was at Wheaton College House Parties. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly, but maybe Colin will watch this and tell me I'm wrong. I thought it was cool. It was mostly a bunch of songs that would all end up on their first LP. So in 2015, Party Music for the Sad Kids comes out. Streaming services have it listed as 2017. They're wrong. You got to go with the historian. It clocks in at just under 30 minutes, and I feel like it starts off so cozy. I feel like I'm curled up on the couch when it's raining and there's a fire, and it's like, oh, to fall in love again. And we're doing great. I love it. It's a great vibe. And then the next track is like an instrumental, and I don't know why they chose this. I feel like it's very disruptive to the flow. It's too long, and I've always wondered why they stuck that right there. Other than that, I think the record goes right after that into their nice little pop rock vibe. You got Doing the Mannequin,
Uh,
and those are really great. I will say, I think especially with the recording quality of this album, it doesn't capture like how fun these songs felt live. There was like a different energy to them, so I think I hear them a little bit differently than maybe somebody who hasn't gotten to see them live hears them. One of the specific moments that I felt like isn't captured as well live is during when he's like, I will never love you. And it feels a little empty on the studio recording, but live it's really well. Lose My Mind, I think, goes crazy hard for being such a simple song. And Dance Like Everybody's Watching is really catchy, fun, guitar driven. It's probably one of the more unique songs in their discography, just simply in terms of I feel like they steered away from that kind of sound. Like Drop D feeling a little bit like Stars by Switchfoot River.
yeah.
So at its best, it's really energetic, guitar-driven indie rock. You can feel a lot of the DIY vibes. At its worst, it's not bad, just kind of short and a little simple.
So I feel really bad because I'm afraid, like, having known, Colin at least a little bit, I feel bad, like, saying anything that's even either critical. I don't want to damn it with faint praise. So, stuff I liked, I thought the lyrics to were pretty clever because it's all like riffs on like lyrics from other songs, but like reversing the meaning. So it starts out with "There's nothing in the way she moves," and that's riff off the Beatles. There's something in the way she moves, and so all the lyrics on there are like
Hmm.
taken from other lyrics, but like it's like reversed and made negative. I thought that was cool. I like Dance Like Everybody's Watching. I especially like that lyric. They say when God
I knew you were gonna choose
closes the
that one.
door, he opens a window, but sometimes God shuts the door and bars the window and sets the house on fire. I remember one time I'm riding in the car. This would have been after soon after I graduated, like with my dad, who's a pastor, by the way. And then that lyric came on, and he thought that was like the funniest thing ever.
Hmm.
I thought that one was good. Overall, I don't hate this record. It's just like I think it's just aggressively not my thing. A lot
Hmm.
of it's very kind of like slow, like feels like I don't know the soundtrack to like Super Mario Sunshine. There's not a real sense of urgency on it. This just feels very background music to me. None of it's
Hmm.
bad. None of it's like incompetent.
Yeah.
And I think probably some of it does have to do with the production doesn't quite capture what it would be like live. The guitars sound a little weak, and again, that's nothing on them. Being a recording musician myself, I know how hard it is to get good tone, and that's if you're doing it, at home with all the time in the world to fiddle with the knob. But I don't know. It's just I think this is just this kind of very laid back pop rock is really maybe just not as much my thing.
Hmm.
Because again, there was never a moment where I'm like I'm sick of this, but I don't usually feel like drawn to it, and I especially feel this one and the other album too. There's like too many ballads. Like if
Hmm.
I wish there was more upbeat stuff like Dance Like Everybody's Watching or or Dance Like Everybody's Watching. A lot of it just, it's so laid back, it just kind of loses me.
Well, you got songs like "Lose My Mind" there.
Yeah, you have that one. I just I didn't particularly like that song as much either. Just as even though they gotta have a good mix, their softer songs really don't do it for me.
I hear you there. 4 years later, we've got "Lullabies For The Restless." We're sticking with that for the. I wonder what would have happened if they kept going. Immediately, I feel like you can feel the step up in production. Their arrangements become a lot more layered and rich. We've got synth textures, dynamic shifts, and songs feel like, to me, they're part of this full cohesive record. You know, it starts with and then ends with the, and so it all just feels like it's part of this big thing. It's a collection, as opposed to a collection of songs, like party music was a little bit. You've got a female vocalist, Jessica, who's added into the band. I've never met her as far as I'm aware. She's most noticeable on Maybe Crazy, but you can catch her in the background of a lot of songs. Wolfblood and Chasing the Porcupine are probably my favorites. They bring the heavy in a good way, especially Wolfblood is so energetic. But Brain Dead and Tonight We Feel Alive sort of feel like they fit in with that.
Tonight We Live Forever?
Did I say it wrong? What did I say?
Yeah, you said Tonight We Feel Alive. That's a 4 Year Strong song.
Thank you. Yeah, 4 Year Strong done accident. Tonight We Live Forever. That melodic indie rock kind of vibe, that feels more consistent with their first record. And then you've got The Last Time and Let's Float Away, which are their ballads that work for me. I think they're a sign of more mature songwriting this time around. With like, it feels like the songs stretch out and develop patiently, as opposed to something that I would write, which is like, gotta get to the point. And so I wonder if you think the ballads work better on this record, because I definitely do. I think Pictures of Herself is probably the song that doesn't work for me. A little bit Bukowski as well. But on the whole, I love it a lot. I definitely prefer it to the first record, and I could listen to this any day.
This one still feels... I think the standouts I like more. The ballads I like. Again, I don't even think it's like... nothing on here is incompetent. It's just like most of the ballads, except for Let's Float Away, they just feel like they drag on, and it's something that's kind of already not my thing, and it's like, okay. I thought Wolfblood was cool because it's like a stoner rock track, basically. I'm like, why can't the rest of the album sound like this? I thought Bukowski was kind of neat. It quotes, although it makes me then think of how much better the song Search and Destroy is, because it quotes a line from Search and Destroy. I'm a street walking cheetah with a heart full of napalm. That's not a knock on this band. It's just Search and Destroy by Iggy and the Stooges is such an awesome song. I really like Let's Float Away. That one's really like kind of Beatles-esque. I think that's probably their best song. A lot of it, I still think I have the problem with a lot of the kind of just like ballady kind of languid stuff. Doesn't really do it as much for me. Again, not a bad album. I just think this band is really just more not my thing. And again, I without having as strong of a personal connection to it, I don't feel, I guess, as compelled by it as I may otherwise have been if I had been, closer with Colin or whatever.
Sure.
But again, not bad. It's worth at least checking out. Definitely,
yeah.
It'll definitely hit for some people.
Have you listened to any of the newer things? Helly Kelly?
I thought Helly Kelly was kind of neat. Although it kind of reminded me a little bit of Tame Impala. And I feel like it was maybe a little too long, but it was kind of a neat, weird, like psychedelic thing. Learning the Hard Way was all right.
Learning the Hard Way, yeah. Because Learning to Relax was a single that was going to be on Lullabies, but they couldn't fit it on a vinyl. And so they just scrapped it.
So again, like those, again, I think this is just a case of different strokes for different folks, but there's nothing bad drove me crazy. I've had some bands on here where some of their albums are like, listening to it felt like, homework. It's like, okay, I gotta go and listen to that late period Prada or Under Oath and like force myself with gritted teeth. And none of this was like this. This was just more of a case of like, oh, that was nice. It's not really personally what gets me going these days. Yeah. But again, I would say if you're into kind of pop rock, not quite as heavy stuff, but definitely kind of catchy melodic kind of stuff, I would definitely check this out.
That's good. Good old Harvey Fox, 2 records, and out. I'll see you next month.
Yeah.